I'd love you to be brave, and if you do have something you would like to either share from your own experience or question you want to ask me, and I really don't care, I'm open to all questions, then please feel free.
What is the best way to take mineral supplements in your opinion?
The best way to take mineral supplements, that's a great question, thank you very much. The best way to take mineral supplements is to find a supplement, a food-based mineral supplement that has all of those minerals in it. And usually those minerals have to, well, not usually, always, those minerals have to come from a plant base. So it has to be food-based, plant-based. Oftentimes what we get when we buy pills and capsules, not always, I mean there's really good supplements on the market, but oftentimes, especially the more inexpensive ones, they're made in a lab and they're not very absorbable or usable by your body. So find something that's plant-based, which means that it will have everything that you need in it, in its natural form and its natural amounts. That's the other thing. Because taking mineral supplementation as as single supplements, right? So let me give you an example. People who need iron, for instance. So someone who's anemic, they're told to take iron supplements. Most iron supplements on the market are not only not very bioavailable at all, and bioavailable simply means available to the body, but they actually cause havoc in our system because they cause constipation, they do all kinds of stuff. The reason for that is that minerals have to work as a family. They have to work as a community, right? Like we do. So every mineral is what is called a cofactor for the other minerals, right? Which means that if you take an iron supplement, you also need to have adequate copper in your system. You also need to have adequate manganese in your system in order for your body to be able to use that iron. If you take calcium, that's another very common one, right? Calcium supplementation. If you take a calcium supplement, you need to have adequate magnesium. You need to have manganese, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, selenium in order for your body to use calcium. You also need to have adequate vitamin D. So all of these things have to be present at the same time as you're taking the calcium in order for your body to be able to use it. Otherwise, it ends up getting stored in your bones. You end up with bone spurs and all kinds of weird stuff. So it's all about finding a source of minerals that is in balance so that it's food. It's not something that is created in a lab. Now, some things we need a lot more of, right? So we have what we call macro minerals and micro minerals. Macro we need in big amounts, like calcium, that's one of them. Yeah. I also found out something really interesting just yesterday, which is the more protein you eat, the more calcium you need. I didn't know that. And of course as we get older, right, we need more calcium. Selenium is another one that actually we need in a lot larger amounts than we think we do, in this country especially. Magnesium is another one we need a lot of, right? Sodium, believe it or not, is another one. So there's all these things that we need in larger amounts, but then there's all the tiny little ones that we need in microscopic amounts, right? But they are like iridium. I mean, where you go get iridium from, for instance. But they are just as important in your body as adequate calcium. Your body can't function without it properly. And they all are needed for everything to work like this beautiful oiled machine that we are. So it's a beautiful question. Thank you. Very important piece. Yeah.
So one of the reasons when people break their bones, they break their wrists or break their ankles, and they just aren't healing, is one of the reasons they're just not getting the minerals they need.
Exactly. That is absolutely what it is. Because in order for our bones to heal, the bone matrix is not just calcium. The bone matrix makes up, what makes up the bone matrix is all of the minerals, actually. I mean, calcium's the biggest one, and so we think about we need calcium. But all of those minerals are actually needed for our bodies to create new bone. And there are, there's other things too, nutritionally, that we need in order to create new bone. I mean, all the nutrients we need to put into our bodies every day, all the vitamins, all the minerals, the amino acids, the essential fatty acids, etc., right? We need them all every day. And without them, we cannot heal. The body can't heal. I mean, if we think about the extraordinariness of this thing called the human body, it was designed to heal itself. It was designed to, keep on going. We can watch it when we cut ourselves, right? It heals up. My goodness, it's amazing. That happens inside our body too, or it's supposed to. The insides are no different to the outside. But we need the tools to do it with. So yes, thank you. That's absolutely the bottom line reason why.
Yeah, and one other thing too is that you can take all the minerals and they have foods with minerals in it, but if you're filling your body up with other toxins like energy drinks and sugars and cakes and stuff, the liver's focusing on getting rid of that and it's not absorbing the minerals, so it just goes out the system, so it's a waste of time putting it in.
Thank you so much for that piece. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if somebody really wants to be healthy and have optimum energy and, feel vibrant and alive and go do what you want to do, then we have to be conscious of how we treat this incredible thing. I have a really good friend in Colorado where I have a home in Colorado. I have a really good friend there that often says, if I can't take care of my body, where else am I going to live? So, we get one of these things, right? We take better care of our car usually than we do of this thing here. And yet, it's what we walk around in, It's amazing. And it's also extraordinary how little we know about a human body. I remember seeing a television show, this was quite a few years ago, and it was a audience participation thing. And this guy had a big chart with the outline, very simple outline of human body, and he was calling people up out of the audience, and he would ask them a really simple thing. Okay, here's a marker, right? Can you mark on there where your liver is? People didn't have a clue. Where are your kidneys? They kind of knew where their heart was, and they kind of knew where their stomach was, but anywhere else? Oh no. It's crazy. Do we learn that in school? No. Do we teach our kids that?
No.
I mean, my goodness, such a basic thing. It's amazing. So, how do we treat this? It's a gift. It's a gift. We were given this gift of life, right? It flows through every single molecule of our being. That same life that turns an acorn into an oak tree. That same energy that turns a caterpillar into a butterfly is in every molecule of our body. We have that, this incredible gift of life. So what are we going to do with it? Because I guarantee you, we can do way more than we think we can do. Questions? Comments? Yes.
Could the lack of minerals and vitamins in your body, could it cause addictions?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. So the question was, could the lack of vitamins and minerals in your body cause addictions? Absolutely. In fact, there are even charts that you can find that have what the addictive substance is and what's missing. Direct correlation.
Amazing.
Yep.
Because when you have like an addiction, it's like you don't want to. Your body's the last thing you want because you're looking for that substance.
Yes.
All the time. So by taking the minerals and vitamins that your body needs, it will take that away? Or
Over time,
because
yes.
Over time.
Yes. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight. I had a good friend, again, back in Colorado where I live, who she was a chiropractic doctor, but she opened an addiction clinic. And she found a source of plant-based minerals that she was using, and that was her primary treatment with people, mainly alcoholic and drug addiction were the two things that she mainly treated. She had phenomenal success. Eating disorders? Absolutely. Absolutely eating disorders. And in fact, that's what cravings are. It's what, anything like that is because the body's craving it. It's like something's missing here. Where can I find it? And so you go looking in all these places, and that's not it. So you have to keep looking even further and consuming stuff that really is having the opposite effect to what you're looking for. Yeah. And, the other piece of all of this is that there's also an emotional and mental component, obviously, to any addiction. And that needs to be addressed as well. And the nutrition will address a lot of that. But also, often there needs to be counselling and stuff like that, to go along with that as well. But the nutritional piece is huge and plays a huge role. Yeah, thank you.
It's really interesting.
Yep.
So I was going to ask too, before you had your accident, were you passionate about this now, or did that come after you? After you were in a coma, did you have an experience while you were in the coma, like even a spiritual?
I did. I remember my whole death experience and dying and going to the light and all of that you read about. I did all that. I did experience all of that. And I was given a choice, actually. I could keep going or I could come back. And I knew I had to come back because my work here was not done. I hadn't done what I came here to do. And so I came back. But I think in terms of my passion for what I do, a lot of it came out of that experience. Before that, I was very focused on the physical. and really didn't think much about the impact of other areas. It was just like this. I had to get off the addiction. I had to get, I had to get this. But I think through that experience, I'm only just realizing it as I'm answering your question, is I think through that experience, yes, it really expanded for me what this is all about, and what holistic health really is.
Yeah.
It's not just using alternatives instead of drugs. It's actually like this big thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked that, because you answered that, because I know in where I come from, we're spirit, spirit, mind and body, and you can't operate in one
Right.
without
the
having
other.
a whole lot. And that's why I asked.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and that is my experience, that, I am a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Anyone else? Questions? Comments?
You also mentioned that the body is created to regenerate and heal itself. So would you reasonably expect the mineral supplements and everything to actually heal or help to heal bones that have been substantially destroyed by secondary tumours, secondary cancers, once that cancer has been knocked back by human medicine, once it's been sort of slowed down?
I've seen it.
Wow.
I have seen it. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Obviously, it takes a while. But supplementing with a good mineral supplement will actually start rebuilding the bone matrix. And of course, what that affects also is the immune system, because that's where, that's a big part of where the immune system actually gets created, if you will, is in the bone marrow. So, the gut and the bone marrow, those are the two birthing grounds, if you will, for our immune system. And so we need to address that piece of it as well. And so, that this kind of supplementation, when we have all the pieces, is going to address both. Yeah. And that, that's another thing, is that oftentimes I know that I've been told that once your bone density starts, decreasing, that you have to either take medication or whatever. Basically, it's not reversible, is what I've been told. And I've absolutely seen that story, flushed down the toilet many times.
Wow.
Yeah. Including my mother. Interesting. And she was 80 years old when she started taking supplementation.
Amazing. Wow.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. So it works no matter what age you are.
You've got to be right thinking though, with your mind. It's got to work hand in hand with what you're taking.
Oh yeah.
You've got to want to be better, don't you?
Oh yes, of course you do. And I think that from my experience, and that's a really crucial part, is that every single thing that gets created in our life comes out of something we believe. We've been taught these beliefs or taken them in or whatever from the time we could first hear. When we were children, especially, little children they're just like these open sponges. And I remember things that I got told as a little one, that I was like this sponge that just went, oh, I'm no good, oh, I can't do that, oh, may as well not even try that, You know, all of this stuff that, and then we forget, but we carry it with us through our whole lives.
But that's interesting. Like, I am a natural healer and I work with a lot of people, so I now I think I had an aha moment.
Yeah.
Because I often have, maybe not often, but I have had some clients where they will buy the supplementation, they take it home, they put it in a cupboard and they never take it.
Oh yeah.
So it's that connected with not wanting to be better in an unconscious level?
That's right. Yep, it is. And
Because it's really puzzling to me. They will take it home, they'll put it in a cupboard, but they will not take it.
yeah,
So, you know,
it is. It's fascinating.
makes it kind of,
Yeah, it's fascinating. And you know,
I have to treat you.
I don't know what their journey is about. You know, we all walk our own path, right? We all have our own journey, and we all have our own things to learn along that journey. And sometimes, what we see as people not wanting to get better, there are things they need to learn through going through that.
Yeah.
And
But it's secondary gains mostly, you know?
that's a way of looking at it, I think. But, you know, I don't really know
No.
what they came here to learn or what their journey is. And I can offer,
Yeah.
you know, what I know and say, you know, this may be of benefit to you, but like you said, you know, if, yes, that's right for me. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I want to do that. Yes, I want to get better. You know, but if for whatever reason, and I don't understand all these things, but there was a reason I had to go through what I went through when I was younger. I learned an incredible amount. I am who I am today because of what I went through. And I don't know what other people need to go through to learn what they need to learn. And so I make a point of, and this is just my own practice, of when I find myself going, oh, you're wrong, you should be, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, you should be doing that, I catch myself and I go, okay, you know?
Everybody perceives life differently.
They do, they absolutely do. And what's right for me may not be right for you.
But minerals are.
But minerals, like the girls in the know we all need them. Right, yeah. So it's an interesting conversation, you know, especially when we work, like you do, work with people on a daily basis like that. It is very interesting.
But I still think that if they had the minerals in them, they may then would take the supplementation, you know, they would remember and they would connect to it. Because what it shows me is that they're so out of balance somewhere that really, you know, they haven't even got the ability to congruently, like they get convinced by me that they could buy it and they could have it and it will help. But for some reason, there's still in itself a lack of, you know, that the spark that can take the supplementation. And so if the minerals were there, maybe they would have that spark naturally.
That's a really good point, because one of the things I've noticed working, you know, because I work with hundreds of people and have done over the years, is that people start making different choices. You know, when those gaps start getting filled in, people start making different choices because we think differently.
Definitely.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Yeah.
And it's what you believe in, what you want to believe in some cases. I mean, I know people that are continuously getting sick with a cold or something like that, but their diet is so full of sugar, and they know that sugar is not good for you because it's advertised everywhere, but they don't care. They like it, so they're going to keep eating it. But they don't actually look to see that actually what's causing the cold.
correlating it.
Yeah, they want to know what can I take to get rid of this cold,
Mhm.
but they don't actually want to know
What
what
causes
caused it or what caused that itch on my foot or that rash on my leg.
Mhm.
They just want something to rub on it or take a pill to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they, need
Yep.
to dig deeper. What actually caused it? Is it the stress that I'm living in, or the argument I had the other day, or the lack of sunshine, or the lack of minerals, or
Yep. Colds are actually a form of detoxification. So they're actually, a cold is actually the body getting rid of toxic stuff.
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, a virus is a different thing, but just a common cold is actually a good thing, because it's the body's way. One of the ways the body gets rid of
So
toxic
a lot of
buildup.
people say, I've got a cold because I'm run down, tired, and blah, 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 which could be contributing factors.
Yeah, it could be, but being run down, it's like there's no resistance anymore. The body can do its work, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
But why you keep getting them is because you keep putting those toxins back in there.
Yeah, it's creating more stuff, so you've got to keep chucking it out, right? Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so this conscious living on purpose thing and treating this incredible miracle as the gift that it is completely changes life. And so, not eating a lot of sugar. A little bit, I mean, of course, but the amount that some people eat is huge. So, not eating a whole lot of sugar, not eating a whole lot of gluten. And gluten's a huge thing in most people's diets that is highly, highly toxic to the human body. And our grains never used to be like that, but over the decades and hundreds of years, and all of the processing and
all the spraying of the crop.
yeah, and also the interbreeding and all of the things that have happened over years to have our grains be what they are today. They're a very different animal. Well, they're not an animal, are they? But they're very different to what they used to be. And so now what we're seeing is this massive planetary gluten intolerance response.
That actually goes back to mineral deficiency again. And the soil where it's
Yep, it does. Actually, that's a very big part of it.
And that comes from greed. People wanting something to grow fast, grow big, so they can get money for the weight, and then they don't care about the goodness that's in it.
Yeah. Also doing it on a mass scale, so you're feeding a lot of people. I'm sorry, yes.
I'm just asking on behalf of my daughter as well. She's had chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, which we're still currently.
Yeah.
It's been huge for a
Yes.
17-year-old.
Absolutely.
So we have, we've had to explore the whole holistic because medicine only goes so far. And that's been great. She's had intravenous and all sorts of things. Have you seen any of your patients, with the supplementation?
Yep.
Oh, I knew you were going to say yes, but I think
Absolutely. And no, it's a very pertinent question because you're not alone. There are a lot of people who have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. They usually go hand in hand.
Yeah, sure.
I've been there. I've had it myself. It's not a pretty thing to be going through. It's really hard. It's very painful. It's very debilitating. And what I found for me was that was absolutely my answer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that was one of the things when I looked back and realized that I suddenly had no more pain in my body, I was completely floored because it had happened over a period of months. And all of a sudden, one day, I went, wow, I feel different.
So a very silly question, probably.
No question is silly.
Where do we go to source all this? I mean, obviously you can go online or go into a Health 2000, and
Yeah, Health 2000 is probably not going to do it for you.
okay,
So who invited you here?
It's your fault. Yeah.
It's your fault. Okay? So do you know where to get? Okay, all right, talk to you.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really good question. Yes, and my heart goes out to you. I know what it's like. I have been there and I've experienced it. Yeah. Yeah.
The genetics are all different and every body is different. How do we know what level of different minerals we need for different purposes?
Our human body has a basic need. Genetics are interesting because we all have a family of genes.
Yeah.
And we actually change what we call genetic expression, which means the genes that are expressing themselves, they're open and active and, it's how they show up in our body. We change genetic expression by what we eat, by what we think, and by what we expose ourselves to. And we can change genetic expression, or we do change our genetic expression on a daily basis. And so mineral supplementation, when you think of the human body is pretty much generic, we have skin, we have bones, we have eyes, we have, just when we think of our physicality, yes, we're all different, but there's a commonality that is called the human body. And that commonality that's called the human body needs all those minerals and doesn't change from person to person. It's an awesome question, because this thing about genetics is it's becoming more and more and more studied in science, and it's fascinating because a lot of what we thought of as what happens genetically is completely false. It's not like that at all.
It's convenient.
Well, it's what was known, so like if you were born with some kind of genetic inherited something, right, then it was just accepted that that's what you would get and that's how your life would turn out. Well, what's been discovered now is that's not the case at all. Absolutely not. I mean, some things that there are, there's a certain level of things that happen, like if a child is born with cystic fibrosis, for instance, or something like that. There are things that you can do, but you can never get rid of that.
No.
So
But that's more than genetic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Because genetic is like when they're referring to, I study a lot of epigenetics now. And so there's, the switching on and off of genes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it is a new science altogether, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing.
nobody
For
can
those that
really
are
say,
fascinated.
this is because of my genes anymore.
No, because it's not true,
Because it's not really, is
Yeah,
it?
I know. So, that's why I said earlier, we know so little about how our bodies really work. But we do know some basics, and there are some basics that we can do.
And water-soluble minerals, then, if you were to take too much, then they will just
Yeah, you can't
be
take,
expelled from the body.
exactly.
There's no accumulation.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Have you know of hair colour changing?
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Without dye, right? Yeah.
Like grey hair disappearing?
Yes, absolutely. When 20 years ago, when I first started taking mineral supplementation, I had quite a few grey hairs on my head. I don't colour my hair. That was 20 years ago. They disappeared and they've never come back. And I take mineral supplementation every day. And I've watched people's hair go from grey back to dark. I mean, it's not, it doesn't work like that for everybody, right? But I've definitely seen it quite a number of times.
It is a correlation.
There is absolutely a correlation between hair color and mineral deficiency. There's an absolute correlation. And there's also a direct correlation between mineral deficiency and hair loss. Yeah. Often it's quite common when women are pregnant that they start losing their hair. That's mineral deficiency. Yeah. Yeah.
So once you get onto minerals and you've been taking them for, say, 6 months, do you need to change the amount you take, or do you just continue on the same dose?
It depends. I mean, it's up to you, really, what you feel. I mean, I just...
Go with the body.
Yeah, listen to your body. It's important that we take them every day, but just listen to your body. I mean, if you are going through something that's quite stressful, then I would up it. Because when you're under any kind of stress, your body needs way more nutrients than it does when you're not under stress. So, we need to learn to get into relationship with ourselves again. And that includes listening to our body, because we really do have the answers. We're taught that we don't, but we do.
Why are we taught that? Why have we taught that?
That's a really good question.
I'm really confused.
I don't know. It's a really good question. But it's just something I think, as we've moved into the industrial age and the computer age and all of it's like science has the answer, it's all suddenly gone out there. That's where you find the answer, right? Your teacher has the answer, the doctor has the answer, somebody else has the answer. And so we've forgotten that our real answer's in here.
It's driven from marketing.
Probably is. I mean, I think it's a sign of the times that we live in.
You're talking about children soaking it up, so parents are saying, here's a pill, you'll be right. So you learn that.
Yeah.
So unlearn it to change yourself.
And then, when people are exposed to so much television all the time, here's the answer, here's the pill, here's this, brainwashed.
And more doctor shows and more medical shows.
Yeah. So I think it's just because we live in the 21st century, really. And we're out here. We live our life out here. And we need to come home.
So we've disconnected.
Yeah.
Huge, wonderful body intelligence.
I know, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the same with our thoughts. Yeah? So we can control what we think. And we can change what we think.
Yeah.
And we can be diligent and we can listen to ourselves. Listen to what we think. Now that takes practice, but we can do it. And, when we catch ourselves putting somebody down or putting ourselves down or, something like that, like stop.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing, but I'm going to go over here and listen to this. Yeah? So we can make these things a daily practice. I just want to, we're almost out of time, I've got a few more minutes, but I just want to say one more thing, and that is about gratitude. Because we have so much in our life. I mean, we can stand here and talk about what's missing and, all of that, and what needs to be changed and blah, blah, blah. But we have so much in our lives. And I started many years ago making it a practice every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed, giving thanks for what I have in my life. And I go through a list. And every day, my list is different because I think of different things at different times. But that, to me, it's kind of like minerals. It's the bottom line, It's the foundation. Because how can we possibly expect more if we're not even grateful for what we've got.
It's very well.
And so that sense of thank you. Thank you. When I'm in that place of gratitude, everything looks amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Every body is amazing. Every interaction I have is amazing. Everything that I receive is this gift. So it's a practice we can all start that costs absolutely nothing. Yeah. Any last question, comment, anything? We've got about 10 minutes.
Do you think there's a link to a lot of our modern day diseases to the vaccinations we were given?
Yes?
Because they're loaded with heavy metals?
Yes. That's all I'll say about that.
Do you think there's any link between certain makeups and deodorants that we're putting on that are adding to our nutrition?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yep. Everything, our skin is porous. Right? Everything we put on our skin goes into our body.
It's our biggest organ, isn't it?
It's our biggest organ. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. And so, even putting our hands in detergents, skincare stuff, shampoo, that goes through our skull, into our brain. I mean, all kinds of stuff like this that, we don't often think about. Deodorant is a huge one. Most deodorants have a base of aluminium, which is probably the primary heavy metal that is implicated in Alzheimer's. So yes, absolutely. I mean, awareness because that's what you're taking into your body.
Even breathing it in, like if you're not wearing it, but you're sitting next to somebody else who's wearing a strong perfume or a deodorant or a hand cream.
It can affect you.
Breathing it in.
Absolutely, yeah. So, what I put on my body is usually organic and definitely completely natural. Yeah, I'm really careful about all that. Yeah. Cheryl, you had a question or a comment?
There seems to be more and more younger people having problems with brain, like Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that. And it is scary to watch happen, and I just wondered why you think that's happening and what people can do to, safeguard themselves in a changing world.
I think it comes down to two things, just from what I've read, and that is toxicity and nutritional deficiency. And I think it's very physical. There's always other components as well, Like I said before, who knows what that person's journey is. But from a nutritional perspective, it's definitely a combination of toxicity and nutritional deficiency. And so getting those heavy metals out of your body, getting toxins out of your body, and filling in those gaps with the stuff that should be there, has a huge impact. Yeah, and it's really sad. I mean, it is amazing looking around and seeing how many degenerative disease conditions that used to be only in older adults are now showing up in children. I mean, diabetes. Used to be called adult onset diabetes. That was the name of it. And now there are little children, 4 and 5 years old, with diabetes. And osteoporosis. That was an old people's disease. Kids have got osteoporosis. I mean, it is astounding what is happening to our children. It really is. I mean, if we want to go down that track, it can get pretty unsettling, to say the least. So we do what we can do, right? I mean, we can't all go out there and save every child in the world. However, what we can do is we can affect ourselves, our community, our people, the people we come in contact with, the people that we know. And by doing that, it spreads, right?
Sharing.
Because sharing,
Educating.
educating, being willing to open my mouth and say, hey, maybe, have you thought of this? Maybe this could help. Maybe this could make a difference. And if I say that to you, people I don't know, that's going to spread, that's going to spread. So we can have this massive impact. If we're willing to just take a risk, do something different for ourselves, and if it works, tell someone about it. Yeah. Because for me, I don't want to be the only person walking around healthy and alive and vibrant. I want people to play with. Come on.